It's morning in America. A new chapter begins. What can be, unburdened by what has been. The story of our nation transcends the declaration to a distant land and the God of our salvation. Faith made its way to our distant shores for freedom. On a ship filled with hope and aspirations, it freed them. Our nation was born in many adversities we've survived, including recently. But now it's time for America to be revived. A blank chapter before us, but how prescient. Will we be humble, prayerful, and repentant? Greatness may be reclaimed in the eyes of God and man if we will all work together and do everything that we can. Trump is our president and Jesus is king. Now, let's get to work and let freedom ring. One of the best ways you can help our show, other than by sharing today's episode, is by picking up some We the Free merch at wethefreeshow.com. You can be the salt and light you were meant to be by wearing the Salt and Light shirt, or by sipping your coffee from the Salt and Light mug, or you can sport the God Bless America shirt and the We the Free crest tee. We've got stickers and a Smells Like Freedom candle, so check out our merch today at wethefreeshow.com. Welcome to episode 55, my dear friends, compatriots, loved ones, and perhaps enemies. This is a moment for celebration, but more importantly, it's a moment for thanksgiving and praise for the merciful preservation of our great God above. I'm always honest with you, and I hate to be dour in such a time as this, but the spiritual reality is of utmost importance. America doesn't deserve to be spared the judgment of God. We deserve, just as ancient Israel deserved, to be abandoned by God because we have largely abandoned Him. We don't deserve His covenantal blessing or His protection. We don't deserve His providence or His help. We deserve, just like ancient Israel, to be given over to our enemies, to face all sorts of national calamities, and or to experience the passive judgment of God. However, God miraculously protected President Trump's life in July and sovereignly allowed us a sweeping victory yesterday. And we cannot and must not scratch our heads in wonder, saying, gee, I wonder why God would allow us this favor. I guess He just loves us that much. Well, yes, He loves all of us beyond our comprehension. What this should be perceived as, though, is the kindness of God, which should lead us to repentance. We have an opportunity here to return to our spiritual roots in America. And yes, the election of President Trump and the total Republican control of the federal government is a necessary piece of the national revival and revolution. This isn't to say that a great revival couldn't take place in conjunction with a Harris administration, but the recently elected circumstance certainly provides a more manageable path. Stating it simply, a Democratic White House would shun and expel authentically Christian voices and policymakers and staff. A Trumpian Republican White House will welcome them throughout. The bigger portion of the puzzle, however, is the reorganization, revitalization, and repentance of the church, of the body of Christ in America. And that will be our mission here at We the Free. Lamentations 3:22 through 23 says, "The Lord's loving kindnesses indeed never cease, for His compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." Now, today's show is going to be a little bit different. I've been thinking about what I would say for the last week or so, but I couldn't truly prepare until after, 3 a.m. on Wednesday. So here we are, sleep deprived and all. We're already being given a load of excuses from the media, from the Harris campaign, which are one and the same, as to why Kamala Harris did not win the presidency. I figured that this would be the case. Only one person will blame Kamala Harris, and that's surely Joe Biden. But for today's show, I thought that I would get out in front of the rest of the excuses, because I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of them, and give you 10 reasons why Trump won, and then 10 reasons for why Harris lost. And we'll also listen to their concluding speeches, Trump's victory speech and Harris's concession speech. So let's start with Miss Harris. These reasons are in no particular order. They're not ranked. Their level of importance is, of course, debatable, but their existence is irrefutable. And the more the left refuses not to heed analysis and advice like this, they will continue to lose, which is fine by me. The first reason for Harris's loss is her record. The vast majority of Americans are keenly aware of the fact that Kamala Harris has been the vice president of the United States since January of 2021. She's been second in command for 3 years. She was the deciding vote in the Inflation Creation Act. She was the last voice to permit the catastrophic withdrawal from Afghanistan, which set off every other global conflict, like what's happening in Ukraine and Israel. Her administration was anti-free speech and pro-tyranny. We've got the record. She had the worst vice presidential rating in American history. And that just focusing on the last 3 years. What if we talk about her senatorial career or her career in California? Well, it's just as bad. She was more radical than Bernie Sanders in Congress. And she slept her way to the top in California. If I'm being unbiased, though, everything she said when running for president in 2019 probably hurt her the most. She was the most radical candidate in the prior election. She wanted to confiscate weapons, give free health care to illegal immigrants, ban fracking, etc., etc., etc. Her record hung over this campaign like a dark cloud and was surely one reason for her loss. That leads us to the second reason, and that was her far left radicalism. I just mentioned some of it, but what's more is her support of lax border policy, weak foreign policy, helping our enemies, punishing our allies, transgender ideology, complete support of abortion anywhere, anytime, etc., etc. The American people have just shown you that we're not about that. And Kamala's campaign realized that when she became the candidate. That's why she went 30 days without an interview. That's why she didn't list any policies online for the first 50 or so days. But then she magically flipped on multiple policy fronts. Well, that was seen as pure hypocrisy by most, or just blatant lying by others like myself. The problem that the left is going to have to reconcile is that they've worked themselves into an ideological pretzel. Some of their beliefs are conflicting with other beliefs or positions. I mean, just to name a few examples, in sexual ideology, their embrace and promotion of transgenderism is frustrating the many communities, but the lesbian and gay communities, because they're telling children who would otherwise identify as gay or lesbian that they're actually the opposite gender. In racial ideology, they commit racism against the vague category of quote-unquote white people. In foreign policy, they support Israel and they also support Palestinians. This administration at the end was pro-oil and pro-climate change. You preach tolerance, but you practice Intolerance. That's the second reason why he lost. The third reason was Harris's team. Tim Walz was a terrible choice, and they realized that early on. They picked a radically liberal governor from a blue state with a dark blue record instead of the semi-normal, very articulate governor from Pennsylvania. But the problem was Josh Shapiro was Jewish, and he would honestly make Kamala look bad. Walz was a terrible choice. Terrible. He's one of the most tyrannical governors in America. He's very pro-abortion. He's very supportive of transgenderism, even for minors. You can't forget about how he handled COVID in his state. Oh yeah, and that the Black Lives Matter riots were in his capital city. He made Minnesota an abortion and transgender destination state. Come to Minnesota and we'll kill your babies and chop your breasts off. He has weird connections to China. His record in Minnesota is terrible and corrupt. But then that brings us to Kamala's gaggle of celebrities. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time on this, but I'll just try to help the left to understand this. Average Americans are tired of being told how to live their lives by celebrities. And frankly, we don't care what they think. If you're an actor, go be an actor. If you're a singer, go make music. If you're an athlete, play the sport. And just to be clear, we don't really care who supports Donald Trump either. However, the litany of celebrity endorsements for Kamala is part of the reason for your loss. What did it gain you to have Taylor Swift's endorsement? Nothing. What about LeBron James? Nothing. Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish, Cardi B. Nothing. What a waste of time and money and platform. The fourth reason for Harris's loss was her campaign strategy. First of all, Harris is a bad candidate, and she's bad at campaigning. That's why she had to drop out in 2019. She ran out of money and support after one good debate performance. She treats her staff terribly. She drinks too much. She takes too many days off, like her boss. She did ridiculous softball interviews. She avoided answering the really substantial questions for the public. She hid herself from the public, from public scrutiny, when they're the ones whose support you're pursuing. She did incredibly cringy campaign pieces. She faked accents. She skipped the Al Smith dinner for Catholic Charities. At the end, she and her party resorted to calling Trump and his supporters like Hitler and the Nazis. Biden called us garbage. They called us racist and supremacist. They overemphasized the issue of abortion all the way through the end. You lost because you ran a terrible campaign. The fifth reason for her loss was the media. And this for two reasons. First of all, the media landscape has drastically changed in the last 4 years. Don't miss this. The legacy media has lost its power. Mainstream media has lost its power. New media has taken over. Like this show, there are hundreds and thousands of media outlets through podcasting, streaming, social media, and especially X. Elon Musk purchasing Twitter was one of the most critical steps in preserving democracy in America. But the other aspect of this was the obvious assistance Harris was given in the debate with Trump and Walz with Vance. Anybody with any sense could tell the debates were rigged against Trump and Vance, but especially the debate on ABC. This is the fifth reason why Harris lost, and a demonstration of the legacy media's kiss of death. You're witnessing the big networks and the big publications going the way of the woolly mammoth, and good riddance. You're not the press anyway. The sixth reason that most would not suspect is Israel. Israel is our lonely ally in the Middle East. We need to do whatever we can to support them, not only from a geopolitical perspective, but also spiritually speaking. Israel is the ancestral home of the Jewish people and the cousins of our faith in Christianity. God's original chosen people. God will bless nations who support Israel. Look at Genesis chapter 12, verses 2 and 3. God says to Abraham here in what's known as the Abrahamic covenant, I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, and so you shall be a blessing. And I will bless those who bless you. And the one who curses you, I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth will be blessed. Well, the Harris-Biden administration did not succeed in this respect. Plus, they tried to take a middle-of-the-road option, and it cost them. They lost Jewish support and Islamic support for their position, not to mention passing on a solid Jewish running mate for her. And speaking of passing on people, that brings us to the seventh reason, which is the proverbial offing of candidate Joe Biden. Look, I said it all along. The Democrats' best bet was to run with Robert Kennedy Jr., but they shunned him from the party. Well, then I said their second best bet was to stick with Joe Biden, and that's partly because it was too late in the game for switching, and all the other potential replacements, if you recall, were riddled with poor records or policy. Remember Gavin Newsom, Michelle Obama, Mayor Pete? That takes us to a similar reason for defeat, which was the truncated campaign. The real point here is that you can't run an effective candidacy in 100 some odd days against a beloved politician and former president who's been running for 2 years. You don't have enough time. That is, in part, why you lost. The ninth reason, though, were the never-ending blunders of Kamala Harris. Kamala was just as much a gaffe machine as Biden, only hers weren't from dementia. You see the effect that has on public perception. And I'm not saying Trump is some perfect orator, but the man can talk and talk for hours on end. Kamala Harris could hardly get through 30 minutes without losing people's attention. Just contrast some of the candidates' final interviews. Contrast her interview with Anderson Cooper on CNN with Trump or Vance's interviews on Rogan. It's night and day difference, and whether you like it or not, public speaking ability, the ability to stand up in front of people and speak or stand in front of the cameras and be interviewed, communicates mental dexterity and efficiency, and Harris did not have it. And to be clear, I'm not saying that she was fumbling her words like Biden. She was just saying stupid things that didn't make any sense or simply made her sound like a dunce. And last but not least, the final reason for Democratic loss was the political prosecution of Trump. The people of the United States of America let you know on Tuesday that we all know Trump was being improperly and unfairly prosecuted by his political opponents. And you proved us right on Wednesday by suddenly dropping all the federal cases against him. Weird. Trump joked by saying it would only take one more indictment to ensure his victory, and he was right. Again. I could probably list more reasons, like aligning yourself with everything God opposes, but we'll leave it at that, and we'll take a listen to Kamala's full concession speech.
So let me say, and I love you back, and I love you back. So let me say, my heart is full today. My heart is full today, full of gratitude for the trust you have placed in me, full of love for our country, and full of resolve The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for, but hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright.
Well, not if your party has its way. It
As
won't.
long as we never give up, and as long as we keep fighting. To my beloved Doug and our family, I love you so very much. To President Biden and Dr. Biden, thank you for your faith and support. To Governor Walz and the Walz family, I know your service to our nation will continue.
Hints of
And
bitterness.
to my extraordinary team, to the volunteers who gave so much of themselves, to the poll workers and the local election officials, I thank you all. Look, I am so proud of the race we ran and the way we ran it. Over the 107 days of this campaign, we have been intentional about building community and building coalitions, bringing people together from every walk of life and background, united by love of country with enthusiasm and joy in our fight for America's future. And we did it with the knowledge that we all have so much more in common than what separates us. Now, I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it.
Oh no, the
But we
cackle.
must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him
And they're booing.
that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we
Whoa,
will
you're gonna
engage
help
in a
Hitler?
peaceful transfer of power.
You're gonna give Hitler power? Wow, that's crazy.
A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept
We
the
give
results.
power to a fascist
That
dictator.
principle, as much as any other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny.
Ah, there you go.
And anyone who seeks the public trust must honor it. At the same time, in our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States.
Which I didn't do and attacked while I was in office.
And loyalty to our conscience and to our God. My
Yeah.
allegiance to all three is why I am here to say, while I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
So, Kamala 2028?
The fight for freedom, for opportunity, for fairness, and the dignity of all people.
Yeah, socialism
A
is
fight
really fair.
for the ideals at the heart of our nation, the ideals that reflect America at our best. That is a fight I will never give up. I will never give up the fight for a future where Americans can pursue their dreams, ambitions, and aspirations.
Except for the
Where
unborn.
women of America have the freedom to make decisions about their own body
see?
and
There you
not
go.
have their government telling them what to do.
Regardless of the
We will
body
never
within
give
their
up
body.
the fight to protect our schools and our streets from gun violence.
which has only risen since he's been in office.
And America, we will never give up the fight for our democracy, for the rule of law, for equal justice, and for the sacred idea that every one of us, no matter who we are or where we start out, has certain fundamental rights and freedoms that must be respected and upheld. And we will continue to wage this fight in the voting booth, in the courts, and in the public square. And we will also wage it in quieter ways, in how we live our lives, by treating one another with kindness and respect, by looking in the face of a stranger.
Kind of like how she treats her staff.
Neighbor, by always using our strength to lift people up, to fight for the dignity that all
to lift people
deserve.
up, you know, like calling them Nazis and garbage, deplorable.
Work. But like I always say, we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work can be joyful work. And the fight for our country is always worth it. It is always worth it. To the young people who are watching, it is... I love you. To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed, but please know it's going to be okay. On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win.
You won't.
The important
thing
is don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place. You have power. You have power. And don't you ever listen when anyone tells you something is impossible because it has never been done before.
Oh, okay. So it's about her being a woman. Ah, I see. That's why she...
You have the capacity to do extraordinary good in the world. And so to everyone who is watching, do not despair. This is not a time to throw up our hands. This is a time to roll up our sleeves.
I agree.
This is a time to organize, to mobilize, and to stay engaged.
Amen.
For the sake of freedom
and
justice and the future that we all know we can build together. Look, many of you know I started out as a prosecutor, and throughout my career, I saw people at some of the worst times in their lives. People who had suffered great harm and great pain, and yet found within themselves the strength and the courage and the resolve to take the stand, to take a stand, to fight for justice, to fight for themselves, to fight for others. So let their courage be our inspiration. Let their determination be our charge. And I'll close with this. There's an adage an historian once called a law of history, true of every society across the ages. The adage is, only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. I know many people feel like we are entering a dark time.
No,
but for the benefit of us all, I hope that is not the case. But here's the thing, America, if it is, let us fill the sky with the light of a brilliant, brilliant billion of stars. The light of optimism, of faith, of truth, and service. It's you. And may that work guide us, even in the face of setbacks, toward the extraordinary promise of the United States of America. I thank you all. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. I thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, a majority of you have not become subscribers, or as we like to call them, freebies. There are two ways you can subscribe today. If you're listening on audio, head over to the show's homepage and click follow or subscribe. If you're watching the show, somewhere around this video, you'll see the subscribe button. Take a moment to press that. Not only will this help us a great deal, it will guarantee your official status as a freebie, an expert in truth. Act now and become a freebie today. President Trump's victory is a story for the ages, truly. It's the biggest comeback in political history. The man has the full force and power of the global elites against him, almost all the media, and the deeply entrenched bureaucracy. And yet, he still prevailed. How did he do it? Well, the first reason is Trump's proven record. Trump had an amazing record on the economy and foreign policy and immigration. Those are probably the top three issues in this election. And that's what drove me crazy about Harris's campaign, was the rhetoric around, if Trump gets back in, he's going to do this. And the American people are like, no, he won't. He's already been the president, and he did just fine. Obviously, no one bought the lie that Trump will round up all his political opponents and put them in concentration camps. Like, seriously? No one buys the Trump's a racist lie anymore. He did more for blacks and Hispanics than any president in modern history. We know he's not the fascist dictator you make him out to be because we have his record. Plus, we got basically the opposite record with Biden and Harris, so the comparisons were too easy to make. The second reason for Trump's victory was his moderate policy. I've told you all along that moderate voters are the key to the election. Well, it turns out that I was correct. Trump's positions were center-right, while Harris's were far left. His policies appealed to the majority of Americans. So, of course, he was bound to win. And this was absolutely done as a matter of strategy. Why do you think he took the moderate position on abortion and the climate and foreign policy? To appeal to more voters. And he was right. And he won. Third, Trump's team was incredible. He made an amazing choice in J.D. Vance as his running mate. J.D. is the embodiment of the American story. He came from nothing and now he's the vice president-elect. He is the smartest person in the room. He's got a clear political future ahead of him. He's married to an Indian American woman. He has a slew of kids. He was in the United States Marine Corps. He was the top of his class at Yale Law School. He's highly articulate, and he demonstrated that in his debate with Tim Walz. And most of all, he's everything that Trump is not. But Vance isn't the only impressive member of the team. You've got the unbelievably brilliant, real-life version of Tony Stark, Mr. Elon Musk. Elon is the richest man on Earth. He runs a rocket company, a satellite company, a brain implant company, a social media company, and an electric car company. Did I miss anything? He has vowed to destroy wokeism, and Trump is creating a department just for Elon to oversee, which he's doing for no salary at all. The Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. What will that look like? Well, when Elon purchased Twitter, he laid off 80% of the company. And guess what? X is doing just fine. Imagine what would happen if 80% of the executive branch was sent packing. Talk about regulation and monetary revolution. And then you have Robert Kennedy, who's going to do the same sort of thing with our federal food and drug agencies, the FDA, the NIH, the CDC, the USDA, etc. This will be literally life-changing to millions and millions of Americans. Trump also had the support of Tulsi Gabbard, who is now a Republican. And finally, on this list of players is Trump's daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, and her associate, Michael Whatley, who took over the RNC 2 years ago. This really is the hidden detail of this election. Ronna McDaniel, the former RNC chair, was not cutting it. She did not deliver in multiple elections. Her ousting and the Trump-Whatley installment changed everything. It not only led to Trump's victory, but Republican victories across the board in the House, the Senate, governor races. Talk about a dream team, okay? The fourth reason for his victory was his effective campaigning to regular, everyday Americans. Most people in America are normal people who don't involve themselves in political affairs. They go to work, they take care of their family, they go to church, they go to the ball game, etc. The leftists think that we're weird because of that normalcy. Trump appealed to them incredibly well. How is it that almost 100 million people feel endeared to a New York billionaire? How is it that they feel like they know him? How is it that they feel like Trump is one of us? Because Trump campaigned so well. He speaks their language. He speaks on their level. And I don't mean as a matter of intelligence or eloquence. I mean that he doesn't talk down to them. He placed himself in their minds as their defender. I'm fighting for you. They're coming after you, and I'm standing in their way. It was obviously effective. The fifth reason is, again, the media landscape. The availability of alternative platforms outside of legacy or mainstream media changed everything. People like yours truly were able to tell you what the big guys wouldn't. Plus, Trump knocked it out of the park on non-traditional interview formats, especially on the #1 podcast in the world, the Joe Rogan Experience. Number 6 is his strength and his friendliness with Israel, and Israel loves Donald Trump. 7th is that the RNC fought hard to clean up the scandalous methods and processes from the voting in 2020. All the shenanigans. They cleaned it up very, very well. They were on top of it Tuesday and still are in the states that remain. The 8th reason is really important. Trump has proved that he is adaptable and a listener. The left and even a bunch of people on the right act like Trump is this massive egomaniacal narcissist. Maybe that was the case in the past, but it seems to not be the case anymore. He seems humbled and gentle now, soft-spoken. Perhaps, I don't know, I'm just guessing, perhaps nearly losing his life had an impact on him. Perhaps the decade of persecution has changed him. What you'll notice in his speech is how he shares this monumental moment with everybody. It's not about him. It's about them. He's making the campaign and the victory about us instead of him. In other words, he has changed for the better. Reasons 9 and 10 for Trump's victory are the assassination attempts and the political prosecutions. I have a liberal friend that knew, she knew the election was over when Trump was nearly assassinated the first time. Well, they were correct. Now let's take a listen to Trump's victory speech.
Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends on this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country, and maybe beyond.
It's true.
And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy?
It is crazy. Indeed.
But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president.
That's right. 45 and 47.
And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again. And in addition to having won the battleground states of North Carolina, I love these places, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, we are now winning in Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Alaska, which would result in us carrying at least 315 electoral votes, but it's much easier doing what the networks did or whoever called it, because there was no other path. There was no other path to victory. We also have won the popular vote. That was great. Very proud of that.
That was surprising. Just to be honest, the popular vote was surprising.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And, winning the popular vote was very nice. Very nice, I will tell you. It's a great feeling of love. We have a great feeling of love in this very large room with unbelievable people standing by my side. These people have been incredible. They've made the journey with me, and we're going to make you very happy. We're going to make you very proud of your vote. I hope that you're going to be looking back someday and say that was one of the truly important moments of my life when I voted for this group of people beyond the president, this group of great people.
It's about
America
them, not him.
has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate. We have taken back control of the Senate. Wow, that's good.
The mandate part's really important. It's listening to the American people.
In Montana, Nevada, Texas, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin,
So important.
the great
So important.
Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We're all won by the MAGA movement. They helped so much. And in those cases, every one of them, we worked with the senators. They were tough races. And I mean, the number of victories in the Senate was absolutely incredible. And we did tele-rallies. We did tele-rallies with each one of them. And sometimes we did 2 or 3 and it was amazing to look at all of those victories. Nobody expected that, nobody. So I just wanted to thank you very much for that. And you have some great senators and some great new senators. And it also looks like we'll be keeping control of the House of Representatives. And I want to thank Mike Johnson. I think he's doing a terrific job. Terrific job. I want to also thank my beautiful wife, Melania, First Lady.
He's thanked the people. He's thanked the Speaker of the House and now his wife standing next to him.
Who has the #1 best-selling book in the country. Can you believe that?
Need you a kiss.
Oh, no, she's done a great job. Works very hard to help people. So I just want to thank her. But I want to thank my whole family, my amazing children. And they are amazing children. Now, we all think our children are amazing.
Yeah, his
Everybody
family
here
says a
thinks
lot
their children are
about
amazing.
who he is.
That's a good thing when you think they are. But Don, Eric, Ivanka, Tiffany, Barron, Laura, Jared, Kimberly, Michael, thank you all. What a help. What a great.
Yeah, that's an understatement there.
My father-in-law, Victor, is tremendous, and we miss very much Melania's mother, Amalia. We miss Amalia, don't we, huh? She would be very happy right now, standing on this stage. She'd be so proud. She was a great woman, that one. Beautiful inside and out. She was a great woman. I want to be the first to congratulate our great, now I can say, Vice President-elect of the United States, J.D. Vance.
Now, Mr. Vance. J.D.
And his absolutely remarkable and beautiful wife, Usha Vance. And he's a feisty guy, isn't he? You know, I've said, go into the enemy camp. And you know, the enemy camp is certain networks. And a lot of people don't
Trump
like to
sees his
do
strength.
I have to do that? He just
Notice
goes,
that.
okay. Which one? CNN, MSDNC? He'll say, all right, thank you very much. He actually looks fine. He's still like the only guy I've ever seen. He really looks forward to it, and then he just goes in and absolutely obliterates them. Say a couple of words.
Wow. Well, Mr. President, I appreciate you allowing me to join you on this incredible journey. I thank you for the trust that you placed in me. And I think that we just witnessed the greatest political comeback in the history of the United States of America.
Truly. Truly, truly.
And under President Trump's leadership, we're never going to stop fighting for you, for your dreams, for the future of your children. And after the greatest political comeback in American history, we're going to lead the greatest economic comeback in American history under Donald Trump's leadership.
Believe it. Believe it. Got a proven record there.
Thank you very much. He's turned out to be a good choice.
Indeed.
I took a little heat at the beginning, But he was, I knew the brain was a good one, about as good as it gets.
The brain.
And we love the family, and we're going to have a great 4 years, and we're going to turn our country around, make it something very special. It lost that.
Special.
Lost that little. It lost that little thing called special. We have to make it so. We're going to make this so great. It's the greatest country, and potentially the greatest country in the world by far. And right now, we're going to just work very hard to get all of that back. We're going to make it the best it's ever been. We can do that. If we had to wait longer, I don't know. It was going bad, and it was going bad fast. We're going to have to seal up those borders, and we're going to have to let people come into our country. We want people to come back in, but
We want people to come in.
we have to let them come back in, but they have to come in legally.
There
They
you
have
go.
to come in legally. Let me also express my tremendous appreciation for Susie and Chris, the job you did. Susie, come.
These are his campaign advisors.
Come here, Susie. Chris, come here, Chris.
Susie Weiss, I think, is her
Susie
name.
likes to stay sort of in the back, let me tell you. The ice maiden, we call her the ice maiden. Come here,
She doesn't want to talk.
Chris. Come here, Chris. Susie likes to stay in the background. She's not in the background. Come here, say something.
This was unexpected.
Totally,
but I just wanna
impromptu.
thank, obviously, President Trump for this journey. It was a great one, and he's a hell of a candidate, and he's going to be a hell of a great 47th president. And this team that we had, the best team, and of course, even my boss, Susie Wiles, the best. Thank
Wiles,
you.
that's it. Susie Wiles.
Thank you, and thank you, Susie. Look at her, she's shy. I've never seen her be shy before. Susie. They're great. Everybody up here is great. Everybody up here is very special. But the Trump, who did you say? Oh, let me tell you, we have a new star. A star is born, Elon. Now he is. Now he's an amazing guy. We were sitting together tonight. You know, he spent 2 weeks in Philadelphia and different parts of Pennsylvania campaigning. You know, he sent the rocket up 2 weeks ago, and I saw that rocket, and I saw it coming down. I saw it. It was, when it left, it was beautiful, shiny white. When it came down, it didn't look so pretty. It was going 10,000 miles an hour, and it was burning like hell. I said, what happened to your paint job? He said, we've never made a paint that could withstand that kind of heat. And but I saw it come down and turn around. And it was, you know, it's like 22 stories tall, by the way. It looks a little smaller than that, but it's big. And it came down, and you saw that fire burning. And I'm saying, only Elon can do this. It must be an Elon. And I tell the story. I told it last night. I had a man on the phone. I had the screen muted, no sound. I was talking to a very important man, happens to be here. And that very important guy, one of the most important people in, I would say, the country, actually. But, you know, I was president, and now it looks like I was going to be maybe president again, so I figured I could ask him to hold. So I asked him to hold. And especially because you're going to be president again, they hold. So I took the phone down, and I'm looking at the screen. I'm seeing this crazy thing that's going around and coming down. It looks like it's going to crash into the gantry. And I said, oh, no. And I said, do me a favor, do you mind holding for a couple of minutes? I want to see this. I thought it was a space-age movie or something. I put the phone down. Bad part, I didn't pick it up for 45 minutes, and he was holding. But this spaceship came down, and I saw those engines firing, and it looked like it was over. It was going to smash. And then I saw the fire pour out from the left side, and I put it straight. And it came down so gently, and then it wrapped those arms around it, and it held it. And just like you hold your baby at night, your little baby. And it was a beautiful thing to see, and I called Elon. I said,
It was
"Elon,
amazing.
Was that you?" He said, yes, it was.
Elon.
I said, who else can do that? Can Russia do it? No. Can China do it? No. Can the United States do it other than you? No. Nobody can do that. I said, that's why I love you, Elon.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's amazing.
And you know, when we had the tragic Hurricane Helene, and it hit,
We talked about this.
hit North Carolina, they were really devastated. The water. This was a big water, as big as we've ever seen. Water hurricane. It built lakes out of nothing. Fields became lakes, and the danger was unbelievable. And the people from North Carolina came to me and they said, "Would it be possible, at all possible, for you to speak to Elon Musk? We need Starlink." I said, "What's Starlink?" "It's a form of communication." So I called Elon, and I'll tell you what, he had, and it was very dangerous. People would die. They had no communication. All the wires were down. I called Elon Musk. I said, "Elon, you have something called Starlink. Is that right?" "Yes, I do." "What the hell is it?" He said, "It's a communication system that's very good." I said, "Elon, they need it really, really badly in North Carolina. Can you get it?" He had that there so fast. It was incredible. So, and it was great. It saved a lot of lives. He saved a lot of lives. But he's a character. He's a special guy. He's a super genius. We have to protect our geniuses. We don't have that many of them. We have to protect our super geniuses. I want to thank some of the guys. You know, we have up here today the U.S. Open champion. He's a fantastic golfer. Slightly longer than me. It's a ball a little bit longer than me. Just a little bit. Bryson DeChambeau is up here someplace.
Professional golfer.
Where is he?
Trump did a great video with Bryson where they played a round of golf.
He's hitting balls.
It went viral. It was a great episode.
He's hitting balls. Bryson. Oh, look at him. He's got a great career going. Great U.S. Open, Bryson. That's a fantastic job. And we also have a man, Dana White, who has done some job. He's a tough guy. So Dana started UFC and came to me, "Do you mind if I use your..." Nobody wanted to give him a rinse because they said it's a rough sport, a little rough.
He's still off script
And,
here.
I helped him out a little bit, and I went...
Just pay
and I said,
attention to
"This
how
is the
he's making
roughest
it
sport
about
I've ever seen," but
everybody else on
I
the
began
stage
to like
and not
it,
just
he
about
loved it,
Donald
and
Trump.
Nobody's done a better job in sports. And you know, he's a very motivational kind of a guy, what he does. He gets these fighters, and they really go at it. And it's become one of the most successful sports enterprises anywhere at any time. It's doing so well. I'd like to ask Dana just to say a couple of words because people love to hear from him. Dana,
And he's obviously just riffing here. Like he's not reading the prompter. He's just talking.
Nobody deserves this more than him, and nobody deserves this more than his family does. This is what happens when the machine comes after you. What you've seen over the last several years, this is what it looks like. Couldn't stop him. He keeps going forward. He doesn't quit. He's the most resilient, hard-working man I've ever met in my life. His family are incredible people. This is karma, ladies and gentlemen. He deserves this. They deserve it as a family. I want to thank some people real quick. I want to thank the Nelk Boys, Aiden Ross,
Podcasters.
Theo Vaughn, Bustin' with the Boys, and last but not least,
Joe
the
Rogan.
mighty and powerful Joe Rogan. And thank you, America. Thank you. Have a good night.
That means a lot coming from the head of the toughest sport on the planet.
that is a piece of work. No, he's really an amazing guy. But most of all, I want to thank the millions of hardworking Americans across the nation who have always been the heart and soul of this really great movement. We've been through so much together, and today you showed up in record numbers to deliver a victory like probably like no other. This was something special, and we're gonna pay you back. We're gonna do the best job. We're gonna turn it around. It's got to be turned around. It's got to be turned around fast, and we're gonna turn it around. We're gonna do it in every way, with so many ways, but we're gonna do it in every way. This will forever be remembered as the day the American people regained control of their country.
Big words there. Big words.
So I just want to say that On behalf of this great group of people, these are hard-working people. These are fantastic people, and we can add a few names like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He came in. And he's going to help make America healthy again. And now he's a great guy, and he really means it. He wants to do some things, and we're going to let him go to it. I just said, but Bobby, leave the oil to me. We have more liquid gold, oil and gas. We have more liquid gold than any country in the world, more than Saudi Arabia. We have more than Russia. Bobby, stay away from the liquid gold. Other than that, go have a good time, Bobby. We're going to be paying down debt. We're going to be reducing taxes. We can do things that nobody else can do. Nobody else is going to be able to do it. China doesn't have what we have. Nobody has what we have. But we have the greatest people also. Maybe that's the most important thing. This campaign has been so historic in so many ways. We've built the biggest, the broadest, the most unified coalition. They've never
probably
seen anything
true.
like it in all of American history. They've never seen it. Young and old, men and women, rural and urban.
Yes.
And we had them all
Black,
helping
white,
us tonight.
Hispanic.
When you think, I mean, I was looking at it, I was watching it. They had some great analysis of the people that voted for us. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. They came from all quarters, union, non-union, African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, Arab American, Muslim American. We had everybody, and it was beautiful. It was a historic realignment, uniting citizens of all backgrounds around a common core of common sense. You know, we're the party of common sense. We want
Common core of common sense. That's
We
good.
want to have security. We want to have things be good, safe. We want great education. We want a strong and powerful military, and ideally we don't have to use it. You know, we had no wars. 4 years we had no wars, except we
strength.
defeated ISIS. We defeated ISIS in record time. But we had no wars. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. But this is also a massive victory for democracy and for freedom. Together, we're going to unlock America's glorious destiny. We're going to achieve the most incredible future for our people. Yesterday, as I stood at my last stop on the campaign trail, I'll never be doing a rally again. Can you believe it? I think we've done 900 rallies approximately.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
That's crazy. Over 3 campaigns.
901 something, a lot of rallies. And it was sad. Everybody was sad. Many people, I said, this is our last
Kind of
rally.
glad that
But now we're
that
going
part is
on to
over
something
because
that's far more important, because the
It'll
rally
be
is
safer.
used for us to be put in this position where we can really help our country. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make our country better than it ever has been. And I said that many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to greatness. And now we are going to fulfill that mission together. We're going to fulfill that mission.
beautiful. Beautiful.
The task before us will not be easy, but I will bring every ounce of energy, spirit, and fight that I have in my soul to the job that you've entrusted to me. This is a great job. There's no
In
job
service
like
to the
this.
people.
This
You hear
is
that?
the most important job in the world. Just as I did in my first term, we had a great first term, a great, great first term. I will govern by a simple motto: promises made, promises kept. We're going to keep our promises. Nothing will stop me from keeping my word to you, the people. We will make America safe, strong, prosperous, powerful, and free again. And I'm asking every citizen all across our land to join me in this noble and righteous endeavor. That's what it is. It's time to put the divisions of the past 4 years behind us. It's time to unite. And we're going to try. We're going to try. We have to try. And It's going to happen. Success will bring us together. I've seen that. I've seen that. I saw that in the first term when we became more and more successful. People started coming together. Success is going to bring us together, and we are going to start by all putting America first. We have to put our country first for at least a period of time. We have to fix it. Because together we can truly make America great again for all Americans. So I want to just tell you what a great honor this is. I want to thank you. I will not let you down. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer.
Sounds like a real dictator, doesn't he?
Has ever been before. God bless you and God bless America. Thank you very much.
We've only just begun, and there is a lot of work to do. We must pray for President Trump's protection. But this could be the beginning of a new golden age in America if we do this right. Let's make America great again. Now, I won't see you next week, but this is going to do it for me today. What'll it be next time? We'll see. For now, go and be that salt and light you were meant to be, and we'll see you next time on We the Free. Thank you for watching today. Listen, I want to make sure that you stay informed on the news and the biblical response to it, so do yourself and us a favor and hit the subscribe button before you go. Then we would love for you to go check out WeTheFreeShow.com to grab yourself some merch to spread the word about We the Free, and we're also going to put a video on the screen that we think you'll like. Now, go and be that salt and light, and we will see you next time.